There is a lot of hype surrounding this Real Madrid team, and for obvious reasons. Last season, they just lost one game in 90 minutes, won the double, they beat teams like City and Bayern Munich along the way. Also, if we compare the top 5 leagues in Europe, they had the highest points tally. And then, they added arguably the best player in the world right now, and the most talked about teenager from Brazil to their squad. So yes, the hype is real. Madrid have assembled a squad which truly looks like an all-star team. But there are flaws which can prevent this team from reaching its true potential. And I'm not talking about the ego clashes or problems within the dressing room. That won't be an issue. Carlo Ancelotti is more than capable to handle those situations. Things that I'm going to point out won't be hypothetical, but the stuff that we can practically see right now. So without any further ado, let's begin our video. Set pieces have been one of the areas of strength for Real. They not only are the best when it comes to defending set pieces, but they created a lot of chances when they got a set piece opportunity. Just in La Liga, they had a success rate of 10.7%, and although they are behind teams like City and Arsenal, who were at 12 and 14% respectively, but still, Real Madrid were a threat from set pieces thanks to Toni Kroos delivering those pinpoint balls in the box. And we will talk about loss of Toni Kroos later in the video, but without the German sniper, they won't impose the same level of threat through set pieces. Of course, Modric will be the one taking charge and Arda Güler will take the responsibility in his absence. And both are capable enough, but they are not Toni Kroos. Kroos used to find players like Militao and Rudiger with ease, and no other player can replicate that. Now you can say this about any team in the world, but injuries in certain areas can affect Real Madrid more than we realize. It's not a secret that when it comes to central defenders, Real Madrid are short-handed. Rudiger and Militao are the only first-team defenders available right now. David Alaba is injured with an ACL and his recovery hasn't been ideal. Earliest he can join the team would be around October or November and will take some time to get back to his level. Apart from that, their much talked about academy player Juan Martinez, who was supposed to be the backup, was injured in training, and reports say that it's also an ACL injury, so he also won't be there for a good amount of time. So Militao and Rudiger, although are some of the best defenders, but if any of them gets injured, that will disrupt the balance of Real Madrid defense. Now it's funny, I'm saying this after Madrid won the league and the Champions League with 3 long-term injuries to their first-team defenders last year. And I know that Tchouaméni and Carvajal can do more than a decent job, but Madrid had Nacho last year. And now that he's gone, they lack defenders of highest quality. And how they are going to cope with that will be interesting to see. Madrid's first choice right back, Dani Carvajal, was the best right back last year, which to be honest was a strange thing. Not because I doubt his quality, but because Carvajal performed at a very high level, and he played almost the whole season. But he is an injury-prone player and have had a record of missing some parts of the season through injuries. Then he and his backup, Lucas Vázquez, are 32 and 33 respectively, so not the quickest of right backs. Pacey wingers can cause them some trouble. Now I must also mention that Carvajal proved himself against some of the best wingers in Musiala, Doku, Grealish, etc. But this is also true that he is coming off from a very hectic campaign and may face some setbacks this time around. Now Madrid has 3 top-notch wingers. Arguably, they have the world's best and the second best winger in Mbappe and Vinicius. And all 3 of them prefer to play on the left side. And I know that Ancelotti will play a free-flowing attack and have said that he will find a place to fit the talent at his disposal. And he can very well do that. But one thing for sure will happen is some players will play out of their preferred positions and their strengths won't be utilized to their fullest. Now Ancelotti have proved in the past that he can shuffle players around and still get the best out of them. But you get my point. Real Madrid is overpowered in the left side and underpowered in the right. So oppositions can exploit that. Now I understand that Rodrigo is up there. He is a great dribbler and a cold finisher. But there are chances that Ancelotti might think playing Arda Güler on the right instead of Rodrigo. You see, Arda have some traits like Isco. He can hold the ball, deliver crosses with precision, and a wand of a left foot. He can cut in or find free spaces and score some bangers from the right, while the opposition would be busy dealing with Mbappe and Vinicius on that overloaded left side. Now this is where Toni Kroos will be missed a lot. It is no secret that teams that pressed was a problem last year for Real Madrid. Funny I say this after they lost just one match the whole season, but Real clearly struggled against Leipzig, Bayern Munich, and even against City. Madrid went back to controlling the game with a strong defensive structure against those teams and did not create many scoring opportunities. So evading teams that press a lot is going to be challenging, and we know that Barca under Hansi Flick will be all about pressing. And on the same point, building from the back won't be the same without Toni Kroos. See, when opponents pressed or Madrid was building from the back, Toni Kroos was one player who controlled the situation. He was there to hold the ball, dictate the pace of the game, and find the perfect pass to release the pressure. So there is no denying that this will be a problem for which Madrid will have to find a solution. Players like Bellingham, Valverde and Arda Güler will have to step up their game to cope with Toni Kroos's absence and help the team to release the pressure while they are being pressed and in building up from the back. Madrid will have Mbappe and Vini Jr. to run in the open spaces, but I don't see any player that specializes in delivering those perfect long balls for them to chase. And yes, Kroos was the one who used to send those long balls, and Luka Modric can also do that, but he plays a little further up the field and won't play as much as Kroos did last year. Tchouaméni and Valverde can do the job to an extent, but again, they are not as precise as Kroos. One player that could have been perfect to send those long balls was Trent Alexander-Arnold, but I don't think he's joining Real Madrid this season. So yes, Madrid has a dangerous weapon with the pace of Mbappe and Vini, but they cannot use it to its maximum potential without a player who can send those peach deliveries. We know that scoring from free kicks have been a problem for Real Madrid. They got around 15 good opportunities, but they could not convert any last year. Not to forget those penalty misses from Joselu, Modric and Vinicius Jr. So there's that. After Cristiano left, Madrid have lacked that dead ball specialist. And with the players they have, they are guaranteed to get a lot of free kicks and penalties. And I don't see any specialist to convert them. Now Rodrigo, I'd say, have taken some good free kicks in the past. And Arda Güler can be their man to do this job perfectly in future. But I don't see both of them starting many games. And as of now, they lack that specialist. Reports say that Mbappe will be taking the free kicks and Vinicius will be assigned the penalty duty. And if I'm being honest, nor Mbappe is good at taking free kicks, nor Vini Jr. is a penalty specialist. So it remains to be seen how Madrid deals with the dead ball situation. Madrid last year was about the team structure. Listen to the statement from Carlo Ancelotti.
The most important part, when you don't have the ball, you have to defend. I want to give more information to my players defensively.
Yeah.
Because defensively is only a matter of concentration, sacrifice, spirit, team spirit, and that's it.
Now, to defend like this, whole team is needed to be on the same page. And I cannot say that Mbappe won't do it without even seeing him play, but based on what we have seen from him so far, Mbappe has not been the most proactive player when it comes to getting back and defending. And although Vini did went back to defend last year, and he really worked hard, but he also has been someone who likes to roam in the forward line, especially when Madrid don't have possession. So if any of these talented forwards goes back to what they did in the past, that can compromise what Ancelotti wants from them as a team. See, many a times when Madrid was not able to break down the teams by playing through the middle, a player like Joselu was the solution. He was a classic forward who made off-the-ball runs, freed up the spaces for his teammates, and was a great avenue to head the ball in from crosses. He was an experienced forward and proved to be a clutch player because of his striker instincts. When the opponents played a low block, Ancelotti made great use of his height and his strength, and now he's gone. And the pure striker that Madrid have is Endrick, who obviously have different traits than Joselu, and he can become a great player in future, I'm not denying that, but he is inexperienced, and also he's 5'6", so not the most ideal player to convert those crosses. Now this is not a flaw, but kind of a complaint. You see, Carlo Ancelotti is very well equipped to use his players in the best way and adapt according to the teams he'd play against. But that stops him from using the best traits of his current squad, which is pressing. A team with Vinicius, Mbappe, Tchouaméni, Valverde, Bellingham and Camavinga can press their opponents to death. These guys can be scary if they decide to press. But knowing Ancelotti, he won't ask his players to do that. And that's one of the very few negative points I have against Don Carlo, because he does all the good things. But with this forward line and midfield, a manager like Jurgen Klopp would have caused chaos in Europe. But Ancelotti is not about domination, he is about winning, and that's good enough. So that's where we are. If I'm a Madrid fan, these are the points that would concern me going into the season. Now I understand that these issues can be solved, and a solution can be found for every flaw that I pointed out. But we must understand that it's not all rainbows and butterflies, like how the sports channels are making it sound. But I will also say this, that I'm excited about the coming season and seeing what Real can do. I'm excited to see Arda. I think he's going to blow up this season. Now, to see that chemistry between Vini and Bellingham was beautiful last season. And to add Mbappe to that mix and the things that he can do, it's gonna be a great watch. I want to see this Madrid team battle against Hansi Flick's Barcelona, against Simeone's Atleti, who themselves have signed some good players in offense with Sorloth and Julian Alvarez. So can't wait for this La Liga season to kick off. And that, my friends, would be the end of the video. If you like the work that I'm doing, please like and share. Your engagement really means a lot. Share your thoughts on the comments and I'll respond to every single one of them. And subscribe to Football Ledger for such videos. And I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.